you get used to, and literally and figuratively being in the passenger seat. Now, this is a funny example because this is so literal in my life with my husband, where he was a former racer, or is a former racer. And ever since the beginning of our relationship, I would always be in the passenger seat, which was no big deal to me. I enjoy, looking out the window and seeing the view. But what was an issue for many, many years is that he would drive like a racer. And in the first at least 5 years of our marriage, that meant speeding tickets. Later on, those calmed down more, but still, it typically means like he's driving safely. It's not that he's putting our lives in danger, that kind of thing. But a racer is accustomed to not only going fast, but like, oh, these people are just going slow. And so they just naturally want to pass. And not even that it's in an illegal or a dangerous area. They're just constantly moving faster. And this was a very literal and metaphoric example in our relationship. And in our life, it was hard for me in the environment that I grew up in. It was, you grow up, be the strong, independent woman. And so that figuratively means you be in the driver's seat. And, he said, we both really remember this occurrence. He said early on in a relationship, very early on in a relationship, he said, "You can't fit in my pants." And something to the fact, he always remembers it more verbatim. I remember the gist of it, but basically, you can't fit in my pants. Don't try to even put them on, like you're not going to be leading this family. And the reason I'm doing this school is because I know there are so many more of you out there like me who grew up in this environment of, you can do anything. You need to be the strong, independent woman. You can't trust a man for this or that or anything. But deep down, you want to be able to have that kind of relationship where you can totally implicitly trust this person that you are actually building a life with. That if you're planning on having kids, especially, and putting your finances, all your efforts together, you have to innately, implicitly, deep down trust this person. And so even if you're taught, be the strong, independent woman, unless you're going to be alone, that messaging isn't entirely helpful. So being in the passenger seat, get used to it. It's okay. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the view. If you chose a person, and that's why it is very important to choose a person, vet them from the beginning as a quality, upstanding man that you can trust, then you have to allow. Imagine what happens if you haven't seen it yourself, when someone who is in the passenger seat is not only being that backseat driver, like they say, right? You've heard the term backseat driver, where someone is sitting in the passenger seat or the backseat, telling the driver where to go, what to do. That's annoying, okay? We've all probably been there. But what's actually dangerous is if that passenger is reaching over and grabbing the wheel and attempting to drive while the driver is driving. Now, that is honestly what happens in the majority of relationships. I have done that. And it has taken me a long time to even just become aware of it and then apologize or correct my behavior, and then from there prevent it before it even happens. And to have a more traditional role relationship where the man is leading and you want to be a homemaker, even working part-time, a stay-at-home mom, just the love, the wife who is loved and adored in that traditional kind of way. There are other relationships out there. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that those people are not loved. I'm specifically talking about this scenario, right? That is very important to support the person who is taking on the responsibility and the role of being the primary provider and protector. And if you are literally and figuratively grabbing that steering wheel and trying to take control, you put both of you at risk. And so this is where it's just a perfect example. You can express, for example, I've had to say on a number of occasions, I don't have that racer's physique. It doesn't excite me. It's actually more scary, when you're driving like this. That has been helpful in relaying the information like that. And you might have to do that at times in life. And we can get into more of that later.